specify your damn goals, because how are you going to hit something if you don't know what it is? That isn't going to happen. And often people won't specify their goals too because they don't like to specify conditions for failure. So if you keep yourself all vague and foggy, which is real easy because that's just a matter of not doing as well, then you don't know when you fail. Well, the first thing I think you need to understand is that these people that you're comparing yourself to, you don't really know very well, and what that means is that you see their shiny outside, but you don't see the reality of their life. And maybe you're in California, see someone speeding down the road in a convertible Porsche, and you think, oh man, what a lucky man. The truth of the matter is that he's thinking about wrapping his expensive sports car around the next cement pillar that he comes close to. But you can't tell, and people have hard lives. And even people who are comparatively fortunate have hard lives. And so the ideal that you're observing that makes you jealous and resentful is in large part an illusion that's created by your own mind. And I can give you just one example. I know a fair number of extremely wealthy people, and most of the people I happen to know are people who've made their money themselves. And I tell you, man, they have a burden of responsibility that would crush the typical person. They're just working flat out, like 90 hours a week, and they have thousands of people depending on them. And
one of the best things about becoming successful is it doesn't matter where you came from, it just matters what you were doing. So many people come from so many different backgrounds and start at different points in life, and it's easy to judge and easy to understand that so many people are so different than you, and they have started in different spots and they're going to different places. So when other people don't seem to be doing as well as you should not judge them, because people around you aren't any better than you, and you're not better than anybody else. Everybody's on an equal playing field, because you see, this world that we're living in is made up from people who are no greater than you. Everyday people have done extraordinary things just because they are following their heart and their mind and their soul to whatever it is that they truly love and following their passion. And that a lot of times can truly turn the world upside down. So many people think that they are doing whatever they want because they want to, but it's because they should love to do it. So many successful individuals are saying the only reason why they are successful is because they love what they're doing. And when you love what you're doing, it's easy to get excited. It's easy to get passionate about it. It's easy to be wanting to wake up every single day and push yourself to the breaking point to try to become successful. Try to learn something new. Try to improve upon yourself so that you can be one step closer to that goal of success that you have in mind. It's all about the game. And as long as you know what game you're playing and why you're playing it, it's going to make everything so much easier in your life.
They have their money and they have their status, and that's not nothing. But don't be thinking that there isn't a price to be paid for that. They don't see their families, they're often divorced, they don't see their children grow up, and they don't have time off. Now, there are wealthy, what would you call, playboy types, I suppose, who live out the dreams of wealth of a foolish 14-year-old, but they're not that common, and you have to be careful of what you're jealous of because you don't really know what it is. And then the other thing that's kind of useful is to understand that you're different from everyone else. And this is especially true as you get older. When you're 17 or 16 or something like that, comparing yourself to other people makes a certain amount of sense because 16 and 17-year-olds, they're kind of the same, which is why when you go off to university, you can make friends so quickly. It's like, I'm just about 60. It takes me like 15 years to make a friend now, as opposed to the 2 months that it took when I was 17. You're quite different from other people, and you shouldn't be comparing yourself to them because they're not like you, They don't have your family. They don't have your temperament. They don't have your troubles. They don't have your abilities. The only person that has those is you. And this is why one of the rules, I think it's rule 4, is compare yourself to who you were yesterday and not to who someone else is today. And see, that's a game you can win because you could be a little better today than you were yesterday. And that's a good thing. You're a little better. That's a good thing. And, no doubt there are some things that you could improve. If you sit and meditate for any length of time about what you're not doing optimally, answers will spring to mind. Comparing yourself to who you are now, that's a game you can win. And I've seen this be effective in many, many cases in my clinical practice, for example. It's like you take stock of where you are, what your advantages are and what your disadvantages are, and then you start with a little humility on the path of incremental improvement. And incremental improvement compounds. And so you can get a long ways. And then it's, you see, because trajectory in some sense is more important than position for human beings. I mean, if you're starving to death, and Dale, that's not the situation that I'm describing. But, you know, if you've the bare necessities of life, and so you're not surrounded by absolute privation, what you really want is to see that you're on an uphill path, you know, something that's got the right slope. And you can start anywhere on that path. And you can improve 0.5% a day or 0.25% a day, and you think, well, that's not very much. It's like, it's 100%. If it's 0.25% a day, it's 100% in 4 years. And that doesn't count compounding, you know, which means it's going to happen a lot faster.
Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, please go ahead and like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let us know what you thought down in the comments section below.